I'm back in Australia, and in today's video, I road trip down South Australia's Eyre Peninsula. This is a region of sleepy fishing villages and stunning street art. In Port Lincoln, where you'll find Australia's largest commercial fishing fleet, I sample fruits of the sea before exploring the area's rugged, remote coastline. Along the way, I share a campsite with a whole host of cute Aussie creatures. So settle back and enjoy the trip as we drive the Eyre Peninsula to Port Lincoln and beyond. Hi, I'm back in Oz, been reunited with Nessie and about to undertake van life again. Last year, I spent 9 months doing the big lap, 30,000 kilometers around Australia. I saw plenty of this great land, but there's still plenty more to see. So I'm back in the van, we're gonna hit the road and let's explore more of Australia. Over the following few days, I'll be road tripping South Australia's Eyre Peninsula. Starting from Port Augusta, and first stop is Whyalla. Whyalla's best known for its steelworks, but it has a little hidden gem. If you love dolphins, who doesn't, then the Whyalla jetty and harbour is the place to come. Often wild dolphins will just wander in here and follow the boats as they come in. It's one of the special little beauties of Whyalla. But this morning, I'm not seeing any, and that's a shame. It was extremely windy with a storm approaching, so maybe the dolphins felt safer at sea. Whyalla seems to be a pretty quiet town, although it is early on a Sunday morning, and I noticed the pubs all have a very 1920s, 1930s look about them. And that's because this town was founded in 1916. So it's a small town, but not without its Art Deco charms.
When the stars glow bright, the summer's old. In the misty bright moonlight I were told. When the storm is raging in your head, when you feel there's nothing more ahead.
If you want a view over the town, Hummock Hill is where you come. You get a great view of the sea and the town.
You kept holding my hand as you reached for water.
And the steelworks, central to the town's economic well-being. Whyalla has a unique circular jetty. Pretty cool. I wanted to get the drone up and get some cool shots, but it's just so windy. The drone won't do it. It'll end up in the drink. Next town along the coast is the small fishing village of Cowell. Cowell itself sprang up in the 1880s because it's a natural harbour here at Franklin Harbour, and it still has remnants of the old days and some of the beautiful old buildings in this small little coastal town. And of course, a grand pub. There's always a pub. Often in towns, the first buildings that go up are pubs. What does that say about Australia? Aside from marine activities, Cowell is also known as one of the oldest deposits of jade in the world, and it's famous here for its black jade. There's a little harbour here at Cowell, and there's also a boardwalk through some of the mangroves. Mangroves are really important to the health of marine ecosystems. Firstly, they act as a buffer against high tides, but they also help to filter pollutants. That wind is phenomenal. And now a dust storm's blown in.
The hills they seem all green, but they hide all the monsters. And you kept holding my hand as you reached for water. On the hills by the lake you were chasing your dream. And I gave you a rose that you kept unseen.
There are campsites right along this coast, and they're probably free, I'm not sure. But I don't think I'm going to use them. The weather's just so windy and so dusty, and I think I'll just keep moving on until I find an okay sized town, because at the moment the town is just a couple of shacks and a windswept beach and a lot of dust. Yeah, not really where I want to spend the night. Moving on to a town, a proper town. A couple of hours down the coast and the weather was much better. Okay, the rain stopped, the dust has stopped, the sun's come out, the wind's dropped. That's pretty good. And I've just pulled into Tumby Bay Caravan Park. So I'll spend the night here, head to Port Lincoln tomorrow. This is a quiet, peaceful coastal village, a place to pause and breathe in the ocean air. Tumby Bay has some beautiful street art dotted around its streets. The next morning I left Tumby Bay for the short drive to Port Lincoln. I was greeted by the most wonderful early morning light over Boston Bay. First European through here was this guy, Matthew Flinders, who charted the coast in 1802. Port Lincoln was settled in 1839. First cat was Flinders' pet, Trim, which he brought with him. That's nice. Port Lincoln is a grain export hub and a fishing town. And Port Lincoln is best known for these guys, tuna polers. This is Australia's largest commercial fishing fleet. These boats will go out for days and sometimes weeks at a time, mostly for bluefin tuna, and then they'll return with their catch. And the tuna generally is exported to Japan for its sushi market. It's profitable work, as you can tell by all the fancy schmancy houses with waterfront views, but it's also dangerous work. And there's a memorial here to the fishermen who went out and never returned. Each of these stones here has names carved on them of people who were taken by the sea. There's a lot of names. Aside from tuna, there's also rock lobster, prawns, abalone, and a variety of other fish that are caught by these boats from Port Lincoln.
You said I would never see you again. Maybe I would hold you then a little bit longer.
There's another species these waters are known for, the great white shark. You know, Jaws. You can go diving with them from here at Calypso Star Tours. They do shark cage diving, but yeah, not for me. Here at Port Lincoln, they claim to be Australia's seafood capital. You can find all sorts of freshly caught fish and seafood here at the Fresh Fish Place. You name it, you can probably get it here. There are so many varieties of fresh seafood, frozen seafood, oysters, prawns, smoked seafood. It's a restaurant and also a seafood cooking school. So here you can buy fresh fish and take it home and cook it yourself, or you can dine in. I've got myself an oyster tasting platter. This gives you a range of oysters from natural to Kilpatrick to fried. Let's start with a fried oyster. Ooh, hot. Hot but tasty. That's pretty good. I know oysters aren't for everyone, especially when they're raw. But I like them. That's delicious. And this one's oysters Kilpatrick. The Kilpatrick, they didn't do me any good either. Boom, sorry, bad dad joke. Oysters Kilpatrick, a little bit of bacon and I'm not sure what sauce, barbecue sauce or something on top. I think my preference are the fried oysters. They're delicious. There you go. Fresh seafood from Australia's seafood capital. If you want to get a nice view of the harbour of Port Lincoln, then the Old Mill Lookout is where you need to go. This is the oldest standing building in Port Lincoln. It was built in 1846. There's a spiral staircase that goes around the outside of the building. Just watch where I'm going. And that'll take you up to the very top where you get the views. Okay, that's scary for me. I don't like heights. But it's a beautiful view right over the harbour, the shipping port for the big ships, the wheat silos, and the city of Port Lincoln.
Goes round and round.
This is one of the things I love about Australia. I mean, the Lincoln National Park, it's wilderness, there's no phone network, but what I do have is wild ocean scenes.
You bring some light to me, or just sit beside me and never leave.
Yeah, that was worth a 30-minute bumpy ride down some old dirt track. This coast was also inhabited by whalers way back in the 1830s. They were searching for southern right whales that come up through these waters here. Way out this way somewhere, the southern right whales come past on their annual migration from the deep, cold southern waters right up the east and west coast of Australia. And somewhere on the beach in this little bay just up the coast, there was an old whaling station that dates back to the late 1830s. What a coastline. Oh my goodness. If you really want to get lost and pretty much have the coast almost all to yourself, this is definitely a place to come. There's a big, beautiful white sand beach at the end of this cove, and I can see one car on the beach. There are these strange, almost rainbow iridescent clouds. They've been hanging around all morning. I don't know what causes that. Okay, I'm on the other side of the bay, which is Whalers Way. I'm not sure I can go any further. There's tracks, but I'm not sure if they're two-wheel drive or four-wheel drive. And there's no phone network, except on this little outcrop. Can I just show you? On this tiny little outcrop, there's a sign that says, this is where you're going to get phone reception. That's really thoughtful because I had none on the way here. So one little magic spot. No, that's the end of the line for me. It's private property. You can go through there, you can ring a number and get a permit and a key and stuff, but I'm not going to do that today. I'm going to head to where I'm staying for tonight, which is pretty special. I'm really looking forward to this. Eyre is a station, but it's also a wildlife sanctuary. They have kangaroos, emus, and even koalas. And I've just pulled in and I've seen all of them already. I saw some kangaroos as I was driving in, I saw some emus, and I've pulled up to my little camp spot, and there are a couple of koalas right here. So, hi guys, I'm your neighbour for the night. Maybe that was welcome, maybe it was bugger off, I'm not sure. What an interesting place, a lovely peaceful place. And it looks like I'm the only one staying here tonight, so I got the place all to myself. Makura is an old sheep station. Right here I can see some old stone sheep pens, and next to it is where the shearing shed was in 1862. There's nothing here now. But there's a bit of history here, as well as a wildlife sanctuary, so that's awesome. Let's go for a little wander. These beautiful old trees. What even is that hanging off that tree? Is it a fungus or is it some kind of nest? I found this place through hip camps. It was $36 a night, I think. You basically just go through the hip camps app, book it. They'll send you a message with the code for the gate, and you let yourself in and let yourself out when you're done. That's pretty simple. Wow, kangaroos, emus, they're all just hanging out. They're there. And then I come along and disturb them. Sorry. Okay, overseas viewers, you're probably thinking, all these animals, doesn't everything in Australia kill you? Isn't that dangerous? No, not really. Yeah, kangaroos can attack, so can emus. So can anything if it's threatened. The idea is just keep your distance and don't threaten it and move slowly. And most of these animals will just happily wander away from you. So I feel in no danger whatsoever. The only thing around here I would be worried about would be snakes. It's winter, they're curled up and sleeping. They're not going to bother me. See the big ones? They're standing guard, right? They're the alphas. So they're just keeping an eye on me. They're not going to bother me. But if I come too close, they'll basically just tell the whole mob to let's just run away, or hop away rather. This looks like it's the old homestead. Yeah, it's the original Makura homestead, built in around 1840. And you can go in and have a look. How nice is that? Wow, life was very simple in those days. There's a sign on the wall here that says this was settled by Adam Borthwick and family in 1842. Look at the fireplace. That's just tree stumps, trunk of a tree, and everything's very raw, but it did the job. And the other room is the bedroom. Probably mum and dad and half a dozen kids probably slept here. Fascinating. I love these old places. It's really cool that they've restored this. And you've got a beautiful old settler's cottage from the 1840s. Well, that was great, exploring a little bit of Makura Station. I think it's time to go back to Nessie the van, make myself a cuppa. Okay, tonight for my dining pleasure, I've got an onion, chickpea and sweet potato koftas, and that'll go on some tomato and basil rice. Pretty basic, pretty simple, but yummy, and it'll be warm. It'll warm up my belly. And of course, magic ingredient, tomato sauce. Everything's better with tomato sauce. And that, my friend, is dinner. Needs more sauce. That's better. I'm not sure the wildlife approved of my cooking. And finally I've come to the little fishing village of Coffin Bay. Now this town wasn't named after anything to do with dead people. Matthew Flinders actually named the bay after a naval friend of his, Isaac Coffin. It's a pretty little town, and Coffin Bay is best known for its oysters, which are farmed here right in the bay. And not only do they have seafood here, but there are emus just wandering around the main street. And it looks like they're not too fussed about people. I'm actually pretty close, and they're happy to just peck away at whatever they're eating. Feeling a little peckish myself, I grabbed some fish and chips from the local store and sat down on the jetty to eat and enjoy the views. I've enjoyed my time down the lower Eyre Peninsula. Port Lincoln's great, seafood there is great, the wild ocean coast is really spectacular, and I loved spending that night among the koalas and kangaroos and emus at the sanctuary. Thanks so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next video.